So as you come into your engine bay, there's some few things that you need to keep in mind. These are your bleed valves, obviously for the front, and that it will pass through the rear. So those are two important things to note. That's your radiator cap, of course, coolant cap or expansion tank. And then if you actually go down this side, if you will focus on camera, you should be able to see the coolant tank where it shows min, and then the max level as well. So that's that. I've taken the under tray off, and also another important thing, if you come around to the back near the exhaust, you go under and you need that's your bleeder valve and also the two coolant hoses or lines. So obviously when you're draining, they will have to come off. The bleeder valve can come off as well, just to let air go in and bring all of the trapped coolant out. And then same as well with these caps, they can come off when you're draining the valve. If I bring you underneath, again underneath what you have, the petcock, the radiator drain plug. Be careful of these are your crash sensors. Obviously if you trigger them, it's just going to be such a pain. These are your transmission cooler lines. There's two, and obviously you can see they run towards the back of the vehicle. Then there's another crash sensor there, lower radiator hose. Obviously that's just the mount that it sits on. And yeah, so I think what I'll do is get a piece of foil and just loop it up along here, just so that whatever's flushing out, it just stays off the sensor. So let's go do that. One thing I forgot to mention is if your drive isn't already an incline, try to park it on ramps so that the front nose is lifted and the back is sort of tilted down, because what that does with like the airlines and stuff, it gives that lets the air basically come to the top, so there's no like air pockets trapped in the back, for example. So first things first, you want to disconnect the battery, because when you're obviously filling with the radiator, when you're taking it off, there'll be like crash sensors, airbag sensors, so obviously when you're movement and everything, you don't want to accidentally trigger them. So obviously the safest option is just to take the negative terminal off and just keep it to the side. So just wrap that foil around, just around the sensor, just so that the petcock is released, that the coolant can just drain around the sensor. Just come through here. The engine must be stone cold, by the way. Careful not to make a mess. As I just did. Nope. There's the petcock. Now I'm just going to open the top radiator so that damage the bone. I'm going to take off. Oh, so I've taken the bleed nipple clamp off, so that cap should just slide off, and it's coming with the clamp, so just be careful. Of that as well, I didn't see that happening. Why that is because I put the cap on just when I was figuring out how to do this stuff. The metal, the clamp fell in, so there you go, that's loose. That's loose. If yours is stiff, just, you know, spray a bit of WD-40 on there. Oops. Careful not to drop these. So they've got like the built-in washers with them. Three. And now this cover should just slide off and out. You want to undo the air intake. Just one of them clips. Then it just pulls out. So this this hose is clipped into there, so be careful, just prise it off. Now this should just pull off. And now the grill, if I show you, there's some twist locks for like these screws securing it. There's one in there, there's one a bit further down too, another one, third, and then that's your fourth one. And then obviously you've got these clips, 1 and 2, and yeah, that's pretty much all that's holding it in. There you go. Doesn't work from one side, you can try the other. So you can actually see from inside the grill on the area that you're working when it actually comes out, when it aligns, then you can just lightly pull on it and it will come off. It's actually a clever system. Okay, yeah. Lightly wiggle it without putting too much pressure. That's the last one. I can feel it's come loose. And that's the grill off. Keep that to the side. Fan shroud is here, and a lot of the time the radiator goes is because these bushings, obviously with age and everything, you get the hairline crack here, but also with age, heat cycles, these rubber mounts, they degrade, and that causes movement in the radiator, and that's why, you know, sometimes those will give out and the radiator, with all that pressure, it will give in. So anyway, start from this side. This is a 10mm. So that's one off. Found my smaller one, which would have helped from the beginning. Oops. Yeah, maybe I should have held that in. So once you loosen this, because I already took that one off, it will drop. So I'm just sort of holding it in place. That's loose enough to come out by hand. That goes there. This clamp wants to let it go. Let me put it there actually. coming. Right now, I'm gonna go under the car, disconnect the lower radiator hose. Gonna move this backwards to about there. Twist this. I can see there's some coolant, so I'm just gonna get ready. There you go. Now it's out of the way. I can see the bottom trail isn't catching up on the bottom of the fan shroud. So after releasing the lower radiator hose, now there's a nice gap. Before that, bottom of the shroud was just sitting on top of the radiator, so I couldn't get it. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the transmission cooler lines. If it's really rusted and stubborn, just spray a bit of WD-40 on it. That came off fairly okay. Just going to wind it back up the hose so that it's off the mounting. I will clamp, and that's not coming loose because I mean it's sealed with age. So you just get your pliers and you just gently agitate it. Okay, I think that's enough. Just going to position that there, and this will pull off the rest of the way. Get your face out of the way. Yeah, it's just about to come off now. So there can be no fluid, or there can be some fluid that will come out. So let's check, hopefully without getting any everywhere. Yeah, I can see it. Okay, we did pretty good there. No fluid came out. Just give it a little wiggle, it's just not coming off. So yeah, that's why you should keep one cup. Finally wiggle this side off. And it's sort of leaking, to be honest. So now that we've got the bottom sort of sorted, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts that are holding the radiator mounting bracket, so this bracket, against the body. So there's the 2 on that side. This one, if I can get an angle, there's the other 2 just there. And obviously that rubber will just lift off. I'm replacing these rubbers anyway, but if you're keeping the old rubbers, then it's just worth noting. You spring clip. Oh, you can actually just take it off by hand. Take that off and take it off the neck of the radiator. That's held in by a clip on the side. So I'll just prise that open a little bit, and then you can try to tuck this out of the way in a way that isn't putting stress on it. So I'm just going to loop it on that bracket. That might just give me enough movement to do what I need to. So Really, I should have put a double WD-40 on the outside, which is what I will do actually, because I can see they're all rusty and I don't want to risk snapping the bolts. So you don't want to, you know, get that too. This one side, okay, that's loose. So that's now loose. Gonna go in my fingers, get that out, keep that safe. It's the second one, keep that safe. Now this should just pop up off the radiator and come out like that. And watch, you've got a rubber bushing there as well, which goes over the AC condenser, so just note that. I'm going to leave this on the floor because got it. There you go. That's what's rusted, so it's coming out by hand. Loosen it. There we go. That's the second one up. Now again, this should just pop straight up and out of the way. Obviously this side's got a brace on it, so it's a little bit more difficult. Just watching that AC condenser. There you go. And now finally, hopefully, this radiator should come out. Just push this fan shroud right out the way. I'm going to try go underneath, push the shroud out because it's catching on the bottom where the lower radiator goes in. Cleared that plastic. I'm hoping the rest of this should just lift up out of the way. Just that final bit. Oh, spilling coolant or something. That's that final bit that's caught on the shroud. Keep it lean back, there will be fluid coming out. Try to show this. So some of this stuff, if it can be transplanted, it's better. I'm not sure the new one comes with like this foam and stuff, but you can see the state of that. Try to get the flip side. So now with the old radiator out, let's go. Electric door. Oh, the electrics don't work. Taking them off. And here we have our brand spanking new radiator. I'll just leave it, it makes sense. What you want to do, gently take out your new radiator. And just double check it matches up along with the fittings. So that should be the mount that you've got there. I will be reusing my cap, so I'll take that off after. matches up. Just checking the bottom. So what I'm going to do is basically transplant this bush at that bush. Obviously the radiator cap, which I'll actually take off because it is fairly good. So it did leak because I tipped it forward just to check the back. I've forgotten that obviously there's residual fluid in there. As we know, these bushes need to come off. Just pops off. I'm just going to put it on the corresponding areas. Put that, slide that there. It's on the other side, so dust it off. So these fittings, carefully clip them off so that should careful not to cross through there. Don't leave a crust under that. Just gonna go underneath and put these into the slots where the radiator sits into, just to make it easier. Need to get that under.
Move it away from there. That's it. That's it. Down.
Yeah. The top of the shroud is catching.
Yeah.
So I've got it, so you can. It needs to sit into this. This one. We're in.
Okay.
So ideally have a helping hand if you can. This front shroud somehow comes apart, but I can't work it out. But anyway. Obviously it's leaning like that because you rest it against there with the new brackets. The brackets back, ow, it's been in the sun so it's boiling. That's from this side, this one that side, although it doesn't really matter. Just gonna put the new, okay. I did wonder why it's so bulky. So this is all from JDM. That's obviously the mounting bushes, and it looks like I've got a bunch of air fresheners as well, which I didn't know. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. Taking out the first one, it's really simple. Just prise back on it and push it through. So obviously the nipple is at the bottom, so I'm going to do the same with this. Get it centralized and it should sort itself out. So now I'm going to slide this obviously under there, but also over the radiator mounting hole. Not sure if that's visible on camera. Okay, it should be. Let me zoom in a little bit. And push your radiator back. Watch out for the condenser. There is a seat on there anyway, so you should know when you're level. The 2 screws. Get that thread started. Second one going on. Just gonna tighten it, snug it. So same again. I'm gonna actually put the coolant lid on there, so I'm not getting debris inside the new rad. It's the second one on. That's seated. Now under its thing, the bonnet cables lines there, and this line's here, but should just easily. Oh yeah, and the AC condenser seat as well. But you get it on. Just needs a little pivot, and that's in. Now it just needs tightening down. Just gonna give it just a securing turn. It's not too much, but so do it little by little on each side. And that's pretty solid anyway. Transmission fluid from whatever is coming from the cooler lines. Just gonna be quick in putting that back on, but because it's already pre-lubed, it should slide on, and then you just help it to the end, push that all the way to the end, release, and guide it back all the way to where it was originally clamped, which was there. Same again for this. I mean, this didn't leak any coolant, transmission, so can get this out of the way. Right to the end of the seating. Help guide this back on. Clamp that down. That was sitting in there, so you can just push that back on. Press it down. It should align itself perfectly with the holes. First screw. Oops. Go straight in there. These are self-tappers, but still, there shouldn't be. Second one is there. So remember, this is turning into new plastic, so try to keep it as straight as you can. Do one side relatively flush, go to the other side, get that one threaded. So that's pretty snug. want it too tight, just tight enough. Just giving a spin of the fan. Feels like it's clearing, not catching. And this should just slot on. All the way. Was eating into the pipe a little bit, so just there, try to straighten it, and that should be fine. And just one more at the bottom, that should slide over too. Slide down all the way. Try to get this out of the way, I don't want it dirty or contaminate that, really. Wiggle it, find your home. Oops. Try to get it relatively straight as it was. That's locked. That shouldn't come off. The coolant reservoir, put that in its clip. Clip it. That goes all the way. And then you can clamp it. At this stage, the refitting. Just there. That hose that clips into there. So don't do what I did and mess up the clips. These clips, they only twist off to release when you're taking off the bumper. When you put in the grill, and then when you put in the grill back, obviously on this side, which will be the passenger side, so these will just press out from the clips that they're held in the front. And here, the passenger side, so the right side as you look at it from the front, I will have this notch going on the inside, not where this knuckle is. So you just obviously align the square and then just twist it until that aligns and clamps into that groove. So that's from the center, just here. There's one small one. When you're trying to get it off, it's just these two sort of springs. You press those and it will come out. That goes on in the center. Like that. Twist it so that has reset. There you go. Align the bottom brackets. Now the bottom should click, click. Air intake bit comes over. I think. Need to get another clip for that. So this goes in. It's not doing much, but that's like that. Like that. We're topping it up where with the coolant, this has a really nice like manual bleeding system. So this is the bleed cap, and this is a fill cap for like the actual rest of the car. So we're going to undo this one. Hopefully without ruining the clamps. Just pop that there, and this just pops off. Give it a bit of a twist. Should just wiggle off. And this is a 10mm, so there's a washer there as well, so just be cautious not to lose it. You'll actually need to use the pliers just to press these two clamps together so that this screw can fully release. So it is getting looser without losing this washer, because it is important. So this pivots on this little clamp, it's almost like a swing the screw. Carefully take that washer off and keep it safe. Once you undo it enough, it should just pop down, and there's those two holes that just hooks on, and then this can just press and move back. Just give it a twist back and forth, and it should just make its way off. You can actually hold the line just to stabilize it. There you go, and off it comes. So I just like to make a habit of taking any caps that I take off, I just like to keep it covered, just so, you know, debris and things, they don't just land on it. This is Nissan L248. It's the green one. It's pre-mixed, which means it's 50-50, and we're gonna be filling from the radiator. So let me just get positioned. So what I'm gonna do is firstly fill up the radiator. I bought a spill-proof funnel kit because I thought you need it, but because this has its own bleeding system, you don't actually have to, you know, put a spill-proof funnel, start the car, let the radiator burp up the excess air. It does it this way, which is actually really clever. So I can hear it actually leaking out the back. So that means the rear system is full. So I need to quickly go and plug that up. I've already plugged it, but I just want to So that was a good thing of it leaking out the back, a steady stream, not like a trickle or drip stream. That means we got the air out of the system. So when you put that, you put the clamp first and then you put the plug, unless you're number one, switching out with like stainless steel Jubilee clips, or got dust, or just reusing the same, and that should be pretty solid. Yep, it's backing up finally. Oops, it's went a bit So right to the tippy top. Now that's to the tippy top, just grab your radiator cap, make sure the seals and everything are pretty fine. Just going to leave this tissue here because I know it's going to leak when I put this in, because it's a bit more full than I wanted, but it's fine. Press down, twist, lock, and just clean up any spillages of coolant. So I've just got a bit of an extension here just to get in there. It just rests on, so as you're pouring the coolant, because the system will, now that the radiator is sealed, I will top the coolant overflow tank after. Because the system's now got fluid in it, and now that the back that was leaking a steady stream, that means the air is expelled from there. The radiator's full, so now both of front and back are pretty full. So while you're filling this up, what it's doing is going to push the air out of, obviously, I mean both pipes, but really this pipe, which is the breather pipe. So you pour it until you see the fluid start backing up. Let's see from this angle. Oh, okay. I can see from here though. Not sure if that's visible on camera. The levels come right to there. That means also this will be, and I can just about see it as well. So I'm going to quickly cap that off. Now that's sealed. Now you can see that's sitting right there. Cap this off as well. So it should just twist on. Don't put too much pressure because they are just aluminium pipes and you don't want to give too much force on there. So that's to the bottom pretty much. Clamp that down. Get it aligned. Just one other thing as well. From this angle you can see the coolant tank. So with the rest of the coolant that's left in the bottle, I'm just going to put the rest in, and if it needs topping up, I'm just going to put some deionized water. Okay, we're just coming up to max now. I think the rest of it should top it off. But still. I think that was the perfect amount. Now I'm going to close the coolant lid and obviously tighten it. Now we're going to start the car. Check all the ports, the radiator underneath, the petcock, the rear of the car for any leaks. Secure, 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 secure. So that's obviously squealing because obviously the belt got wet with water and coolant. But if it does need adjusting, I'll put that in another video. I will adjust it then. So you run it with the heaters on max, front and back. So heaters front and back on max, and then we're just going to go around the car just checking for any leaks that might be occurring. So from all the hoses, the petcock and all, that's the drain, so don't worry about that. So we'll just let this get to operating temperature and then just check after. So the temperature's holding steady, is, you know, pretty much in the middle, which is really good. I can feel the heat coming out of the front, and that's really hot, but I can't feel it at the back, for example on the floor vents, and that's because when we took the lead cap off the back, obviously the heat, or there will be some sort of air pocket because no liquid that's properly reached. So for that, to remedy that, you just hold the revs about 3k, and what that does, it gets the water pump to, you know, push the water around the system, and it obviously it's going to take a little bit of time to get to the back, so you just hold it at roughly 3000 revs for, you know, 5-10 minutes, and when you start feeling heat coming out of the back, that's when you know you're on the right track. So like, for example, you know, you can hold it between 2.5, 3k, that should be fine. So I shall update you in a few minutes. So I was holding it at 3k revs for about 5 minutes or so. You will actually notice the front ones, it will get hotter as well, because obviously that air's or that circulation is actually forcing that heat through as well. And now I can actually feel the back is nice and hot to the touch. I might just hold it a bit more just to get more of that water circulating. And also, if you did notice, I've got some multi-vehicle ATF transmission fluid, and why that is because obviously when we drained the rad, we had some come off, so you can actually top this up while the car is running at hot, or you know, if you want to be safe, then just turn the vehicle off, fill it up, and I'll show you how to do that. I've just switched the mode to blow through the top and floor vents, so I can feel there's nice hot air coming through from the top as well as the bottom. Same on the front as well, nice hot air. So with that, I'm going to switch off, and then I'm just going to top up the transmission fluid, which I'll show in a second. It needs to come down a little bit. And now these for the engine cover, get that going. I'll set it, get it going, and lastly, just snug. Snug, snug, and snug. But it's a little tab on a stick side. So this is multi ATF, so it does say that you can mix it safely. This vehicle takes Matic J. Just a bit.
Yeah, my wife just has something to eat now, and then she
Goes in without gonna pump it through. Just hold that tube. And just gonna check to see if the level's readable. It is on an incline, so it's not going to be 100% accurate, but you can see roughly. I mean, the main thing is whatever was lost when draining the rad is back up on the dipstick, cold. So I don't know if that's readable, but I can see red just about where the cold fill is. The hot is on the other side, but I mean it is pretty warm, so should be about right. Just gonna close that up.